Good morning, everybody. It's Graham once again from Unearthed, and another episode of Detecting Talk. Now, some of you watching this film might be wondering, what have I got on my head? And the reason why I'm wearing this hat is I'm going to give people a gentle reminder on the last Unearthed dig that the amount of stick and Mickey taken I got because I wore this hat was unbelievable. However, I think one or two were jealous. I do. I think one or two were jealous of my wonderful still chainsaw hat. And it's called the Lucky Hat now because obviously on the last Unearthed dig there was the medieval coin hoard found and a fantastic medieval gold inscription ring. So I'm classing this as the Lucky Hat. I'm putting it on my head today for this film just because I got that much stick off people. It was unbelievable. It was like an orange beacon stood out in the fields apparently. So there you are, my lucky hat. I'm wearing it. Every time on our Unearthed digs, if it's cold or wet, autumn, winter, this will be on. So get used to it, folks. The guys that attend our digs are going to have to get used to me wearing my lucky hat. Now, of course, it's worth mentioning an update on the hoard. Let's get out of serious business now. So the last, not Sunday just gone, yesterday, the Sunday before was the Unearthed dig, first one of the year, and by lunchtime I'd seen a couple of hammered coins come up and a little bit of Saxon stroke Viking type artifact and a few copper coins and the usual buttons and lead and other sort of run-of-the-mill objects coming to light, but I was a little bit dismayed because it was very quiet. However, everything, or I should say all hell broke loose come 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when I was wandering around on a particular field looking at some detectorists finding bits and pieces and having a bit of a crack with them, and I got a message on my phone off Chris, who found the hoard, saying that in all his excitement he'd been digging up some medieval pennies in the clods sort of thing. So these were only shallow coins at the start. So I rushed over and found him out of breath, and I think he had at the time double figure hammered, and in the end we ended up with 45. Now what we did as a group, we cleared it. Now I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of hoard sites, when you see hoards being dug up or people in rallies, for example, and there's a hoard found, everybody seems to jump in and crowd round. There's heads everywhere, people videoing it, and lots of swearing and banter and everything else. So we did it a little bit different on here. There was a lot of excitement, which is good, a lot of talking in the background, which is also good, and people were keen to learn and see a hoard coming to light. However, what we did in our wisdom is we told everybody to turn the machines off and back off, and of course we could have one or two people, well, more than one or two people actually, maybe close to double figure people watching the hoard being extracted from the various locations. It was fine because it was a scattered hoard of medieval silver pennies. So we did everything by the book. There was no hassle, there was no silliness, no other videos being made. It was just watching the coins coming to light in a proper manner, and I think that's how it should be done. But who am I to say? That's only my opinion. A lot of people like to dive in and have a bit of a one for it, all hands on deck, and that's up to them. But we had what we did, we found we were running out of time. So we got one or two guys turning the machines on just to see if they could help out retrieve some of the other coins that were in the location, which were relatively shallow, some were fairly deep. So 45 were recovered in the first day, and then we came back and had another search, and in the end the total was 61. So there were 61 coins found in total. Edward the First pennies, Edward the Second, and we think Edward the Second's in there. We know Edward the First, and there's a John Brabant coin from France, about 1267 to 1294, I think, that came up. One of the last coins to come up actually. But what I was amazed with was the amount of different detectors we tried over the hoard site, and not many, well, if not any, picked any of them up. It was only the Equinox metal detector that seemed to do the business on the hoard, and some of the coins were down 12 inches or more, and you had to see it to believe it. I've actually gone back to purchasing an Equinox for myself because of the looking at the guys using it, the guys that have been using the Equinox from new, so they know exactly what they're doing, they know exactly what to expect from the metal detector, and they know exactly how to set it properly, which is the key thing. it was amazing to see the Equinox in action. Now this isn't an Equinox plug, because we sell lots of different detectors. When you're giving it from my personal side of things, I've changed my detector for 2020, folks. Now I am an Equinox user, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I do very well with it this year. That's to be said though. I'll be keeping my G2 Plus for certain sites, because that has been a hell of a machine for me over the last 5 years, and I've found some wonderful things with it. I've never found as much gold with the G2 Plus, so that will stay firmly in my grasp, and it will follow me on my adventures. But the Equinox for 2020 is going to be my main machine, and I had to see it to believe it. Now a lot of people say, well, I'm a bit sitting on the fence with the Equinox. I think there's a lot of guys out there pretty much don't know how to use them properly, and that's not a criticism. It's just they've got to know how to set the machine correctly to get the best out of it. So that was clean, deep pasture on Sunday. The recovery speed was really low, out of 1 and 2, and that seemed to have the advantage on the depth. So watch this space, folks. I'm now a Mine Labber for the first time in over 10 years. I have to say, I'm going back to Mine Lab to use them. Let's have a look at their machines, what they're capable of. Let's see how we do this year. Now, just to mention again about the organised dig. So there was a lot of excitement, as you can imagine. The medieval gold ring came up. That was that major excitement around Collins find. That's gone through the Treasure Act now. The hoard's going through the Treasure Act as we speak. And it was, it was one of them days where, you couldn't ask for anything to go better. There was people finding hammered coins on different fields, which is good. A bit of Roman came up. I drove home a fairly tired but content man. Very, very happy with the day's events, how they unfolded, because everybody worked as a professional team. And that's how these organised digs should work. There's no greed, there's no hassle, there's no bitterness, there's no jealousy. However, social media being social media, one or two of the guys, including myself, were posting up images of the day's events, and we got a barrage of messages asking, showing people's disappointment that they didn't get an invite. Now, off the back of some of the messages, I made the decision that night after the dig, as tired as I was, to pull the plug on Unearthed organised digs for customers. Now that's going to sound disappointing for some people, but here you've got to hear me out. We originally did the organised digs for customers just to say thank you for purchasing their metal detectors and accessories from Unearthed. However, over time we created a monster that we couldn't control. So if I had every customer on our Unearthed organised dig page or group, an invites list, it would be impossible to manage. It'd be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different detectorists out there. So people have got to remember, we don't do this for profit. There's no money to be made. We don't make a penny. As long as I can pay for my fuel to get there and back, there and back, there and back, because I've got to visit the farm a couple of times to check for green waste and to check boundaries and everything else. In the end, when you look at it, I'm coming out of pocket for it. So no other digs or rallies in the country do it for free, or I certainly don't know of any, unless it's a charity dig. But we do it free, and I don't want to be losing money unnecessarily if I have to put people on fields and stand around out of pocket, and it's not the way it should work. I should do it properly. But we don't want to do it for profit. We don't want to get into the area of doing organised digs where we're making money, because people start throwing accusations that you're just in it for the money, and we're not in it for the money. We're in it for the love of history, and we're a great group. So I've decided to do it as friends and invites only. It's the only way I can do it. It saves the hassle. I was disappointed with some people's comments. I should have been invited to this. I didn't know about it. I haven't got the time or the energy to invite everybody. And we keep it to 40 people. So 40 people maximum. If the dig gets filled up like that, it gets filled up really quickly. So we haven't got the time to start emailing people, and that you invite people and email them and they don't even respond to you half the time. So it's not worth it. It's not worth doing. So from now on, they're scrapped. The Unearthed organised digs for customers, I should say, have been finished. It's invite and friends only from now on, folks. Some of you guys that watch this channel are friends of mine. You're more than welcome to come along, just drop me a message. But the customer side of it for Unearthed customers is gone. We've created a monster, and I just cannot control it. You can't keep everybody happy. There was people mourning. I don't want to be in it for that. And it's not how we work. So that's that, folks. Also, I was speaking to one or two of the farmers that we've had digs on. They've been visited, and their friends and the farms around the surrounding area have been visited by people off the Unearthed organised dig group, asking for permission behind our backs. Now, we don't own the land. Remember that? We don't own the land. It's not our land to say, you know, keep it to Unearthed people only, but we do a lot of work. We do a lot of liaising with the farmers and landowners. We also do a lot of research and a lot of time, hours and hours and hours of time of research, and miles as well to visit these farms. So we don't really want to be foot soldiers and doing the work for people to go behind our backs and get permission. It's not how it works. There's a code of conduct, surely. I've known people throughout the UK get banned off rallies and digs or whatever they want to class them as because of that thing. So we've had to produce a set of rules for the first time. We've always been pretty relaxed because we've trusted everybody, but now there's a set of rules out there just explaining, keep it neat, make sure you're insured NCMD, that sort of thing. Shut gates, fill your holes back in, respect livestock and land, and don't go back to the farm behind our backs and not for permission, especially on the productive sites. It's just wrong. I would never do it. I'm sure you guys would never do it. Just remember though, folks, we don't own the land. So I'm only saying this, you know, as I am, as a code of conduct. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing. So we've had to make a few changes there. But this is the problem when you have a bit of success, you create a successful model and it grows and grows. It's a difficult thing to control. So I'm sure some of you will agree with me. I'm not getting out of pocket driving miles and miles to put people on land and standing there, then find they're going behind our backs. It's just not worth it. Why would you do it? Why would it cost me as an individual? Can't do it. Nothing to do with the business. Just costing me out of my own money. So we've made some changes. There's going to be a membership, £10 membership fee for each individual per year, 85 pence a month or whatever it is, and that covers our fuel cost to visit these farms, because there's more and more farms coming up. That's one thing. We're going to be doing more of these digs, and we've got more and more farms under our wing. And we've got to also remember that a lot of these people that attend our digs haven't got their own permission, so it's the only chance they get to go out detecting. So it's, you know, we are providing a service, and a lot of people don't like organised digs or rallies. I don't like calling them rallies because it's anything but. You know, some people don't get the chance to go on good land, productive land, and we do the research to get people on productive land that's never been searched before, and we've proved that time and time again. So that's another side of it. What else? What else was I going to talk about? Yes, we've got many new farms coming. £10 membership fee per year for people to pay. We've got to check for green waste, folks. We've got to get up there. We've got to visit these farms. It's a 2-hour drive and a 2-hour drive back for us, 4-hour round trip in a lot of cases. And it sounds like I'm sort of trying to explain myself here, but I'm trying to put it in a context what we've got to do and what we do as a group. And then I've got to take a couple of lads with me, maybe Gaz and Tat, they come up with me. We check for green waste on the field, so we detect. We don't dig any signals, we dig a couple of signals to check if it is green waste or not. We pretty much know if it's been seeded with green waste within half an hour. Because the last thing we want to do is put one of these organised digs on, people all turn up ready to go, chomping at the bit, and they find that it's full of metallic green waste. So we've got to put the homework in first. That can take a lot of time and effort. Liaising with the farmers, boundaries, rules and regulations, the green waste check. So that's what we do. Right, just let me show you something. We've just started stocking these recently, and they're the new Loxley metal detecting micro shovels, as you can see there. Now, I like these, and the reason why, they're very much like the Bulldog spades, but they're made better. If you remember the Bulldog spades and the Spear and Jackson spades that we sell from time to time, these are actually stronger, but they look like a hard resin shaft. Very well made, put together by Detectorists, hence the Loxley metal detecting part. I don't think there's a spade better value for money than that. What, 12, 13 quid off the website? Cheap. And it's worth, you know, really strong. I'm going to start using one of these on stubble, because I'm carrying around with me a big stainless steel heavy spade at the moment, and it's after a few hours it starts aching your arm. It's a bit of an awkward thing. It's a rigid stainless steel heavy spade. I've got a strap on it, the wind catches it, it's whacking you over the lug when you're putting it over your shoulder. The handle's heavy, so that hits you in the ear as well. Come back with cauliflower ears before long. So these, you put them under your arm, you don't even feel like you've got one in your hand. They're that good, but they're strong, light and well made. Have a look, folks. Some of you guys might want to carry one of these in the back of your car with you. Even if you don't use it as your main shovel, it's certainly worth having one at your disposal. Brilliant little shovels. There they are, folks. As you can see, a little bit of a sales pitch at the end, but you know what? It's our channel. We've got to show people what we stock. People want to know what we stock. They don't necessarily want to go trawling through the website for hours on end. They like to see it. So the Loxley metal detecting spades, there they are. Loxley, as in Robin of Loxley, I guess. Right, so there they are, folks, them. Keep an eye out because there's another Detecting Talk film coming soon, and I think a lot of you guys will find it of interest. That's all I'm going to say. Right, okay. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, everybody.